We've been to a bunch that were, bigger or in Midtown, and a lot of spaces that just, either the people running it were kind of weird, or the space was just way too big. So we wanted a very small, kind of intimate wedding, and, this place, when we came in, it kind of fit pretty nicely, I think.
Yeah, and we wanted to do something different because we didn't want to do a bunch of dining tables and everybody sort of sits at their own spot until someone says dancing and everyone has to get up. We didn't really want to do the traditional games of throwing bouquets and stuff. So Dan had the great idea of standing dinners where they bring all the food out in small portions and there's enough seating. If you wanted to sit, you could, but you didn't have to. And I thought that really sort of fit the intimate setting that we wanted. We didn't want to have everybody stuck with people they didn't know. And big thing for me was a wedding was a place to thank everybody for helping us out and getting where we are, personally, professionally, and obviously in relationship. So it was really important for me that it was special to them and they got to have as much fun as they could. And the standing dinner idea really fit in with what we were trying to do. So yeah, that was kind of the decision we made. Mm-hmm. Well, Dan did most of the design work with us, and we had booked the place, I think, 12 months?
I think
maybe a little.
In May,
yeah.
About 10 months ahead.
So we had a lot of meeting with him, and he had some great ideas, and I didn't want to do flowers, which sort of flabbergasted Dan, but he came up with creative ways to accommodate us. And
yeah, and also to fit in, her sister wanted to help out, and so she ended up making a bunch of paper flowers and vases, decorating vases, and Dan was able to really kind of work those in quite nicely with everything, really kind of cater to everything we wanted to put in.
Yeah, and yeah, he did a great job just rearranging this whole space so that we had people who were sitting over there in the lounge area, or we had a lounge area, and everybody just had a great time. It was a great setup. Oh, the food was great. The food was great.
That was one of the big sellers of the place.
Yeah. Well, we saw the pictures of the food they had served in the other weddings, and they all looked so good that we couldn't wait to try them. And
yeah, the tasting that we did beforehand was definitely kind of just sealed everything.
Sealed the deal.
The stand-up dinner worked nicely because everything is very small portions, but they're very, well crafted, well done, very tasty. The miniature lamb chops were the biggest hit of the night. I think one guest ate about 14.
He ate a whole lamb. He ate the lamb. But yeah, and Dan was able to incorporate a lot of the Japanese elements because I wanted some of my cultural background in there. So he had helped us out with crafting the menu because I think when the first course came out, I was actually wearing a kimono. And he had incorporated a sakatini and a small sushi platter and a lot of the other things that was just geared towards that. So it fit in really nicely. And like Mark said, the main course was a huge hit. And we also had some vegan friends.
Right,
that we had to accommodate. Yeah, and it was just, everything was so wonderful and it tasted so good.
And I think you even had a server with the lamb following her around. So every time she turned around, there was a lamb chop.
The wait staff did just a great job of making sure we got to taste everything, we got to eat everything, and we got to enjoy the food just as much as the guests did. And that was really important to me. I didn't want to do a wedding where I didn't get to eat the food. I wanted the food. When I said I didn't want flowers, Dan said, well, you have to have something with color. And I came up with the idea to use nice Japanese paper, a very thin Japanese paper, and I had brought in a few pieces and Dan put them in a frame and sort of hung it over
from
the ceiling. So light would shine through it and it would give the place generally a nice, bright sort of color that pops, especially around the DJ area, which added a lot to the whole place. He had a lot of votives that was great.
Yeah, it gave everything just sort of a very warm, comfy feel. with the votives,
Yeah.
and just the general layout.
And it was nice, the space was just nicely crafted so that guests could sort of choose to be where they're most comfortable, which was very important to me, because when they're comfortable, they're obviously going to enjoy themselves more than sitting at a table with people they didn't know. Yeah. So the lounge space, I think, marks a lot of
My
his
family like that.
yeah, extended family got to catch up with a lot of catch up. They don't have time to get together so much, and they really got to enjoy that. And a lot of my friends and my parents had a great time on the dance floor. I couldn't get my mom off of it. And I'd never seen my mom dance. My dad's never seen my mom dance, and they've been married for 35 years.
And your dad was doing the robot.
Shh. We won't discuss that.
It's quite awesome, by the way.
But yeah, and everybody just found their own niche, and no one felt uncomfortable. No one had a corner they were standing at looking awkward. And I think it was really just due to the fact that they made the place feel so comfortable and so at home, that everyone really got to enjoy themselves. Right. Jim was the sort of the day of, and he was the executor, and he timed everything extremely well. We had just a few toasts, and other than that, we just sort of said, "Welcome to our party, enjoy." And he was always there when you were looking for something. You turned around, he was right there, but he was never the pushy MC or anything like that.
Right.
So that was great.
I think probably the highlight of the evening is at the bar, somehow my mom managed to light herself on fire. She had a dangly shawl, reached over, one of the votives caught, going up in flames. But the bartender very calmly, quickly just grabbed it, dunked it in water, handed it back, didn't say anything. My mother was extinguished, got her drink.
Kept going, and the night went on. And we couldn't have asked for better. And it wasn't, and everybody was very nice. Like, you didn't get the feeling that, well, it's perfectly executed, but it was cold. It was very warm. Everybody had a great time, and they would chat with you, and they would go back and forth with you, and it was just such a great feeling. I had a couple friends that said, "You guys should get married again. You guys should do another wedding, maybe in like 5 years." I'm like, oh, that's really soon. But yeah, everybody had such a great time. I had a lot of comments on the food. Everybody's just like, "Do you have the recipe for the lamb chop?" I'm like, "I didn't make it, and I'm pretty sure they're not going to share it with me." You can try. You can get married there. But yeah, I had friends tell me that they would love to do something like that because they had such a good time, and there wasn't anything awkward. And my friends that didn't know each other from before actually got to mingle because they had something to talk about. It was obviously our wedding, and everybody knows us well. But everybody just got on the dance floor, they had a great time, and they just chatted. I think there were a lot of numbers exchanged amongst friends, and that just made me so happy that it really communicated that I wanted to thank everybody. So that was the best part of it.